All right, yeah, UMass Lowell, 4 individuals, 3 relay teams going to the NCAA Division II Indoor National Championships. What should we hold as realistic expectations for this track and field team, this group?
I think realistically, we can come home with 8 to 10 All-Americans, you know, and the men probably have a chance to be somewhere in the top 15, top 20 in the team race. I think those are pretty realistic expectations going into it.
This is college track and field. I would suspect experience makes a difference, probably age and just physical maturity make a difference. But I look at this roster, and you've got 2 freshmen in individual events. You've got a sophomore in an individual event. Does that mean that in some ways this team or these individuals have surprised you, surprised us?
Yeah, I mean, David has definitely surprised us this year. For him just to make the championship, you know, if I would have guessed in September, I probably would have guessed that he wouldn't be on this championship team in the relay or in the individual. So he's done a great job. Candace, and I think she had to throw a 9-foot PR from high school in order to make it to the championship. So that's obviously huge. Yeah, I mean, we have our mixture of some older kids, you know, kids that have been there a few different times with kids like Amy Delgado and Dante and Danny Wang, and we have some kids that are going to be new to this. So anything can happen once you're in that situation. And at that championship, at the NCAA championships, anything can happen anyway because everybody is so close together that you have a good day, you can really move your way up, and you have an average day, and you kind of finish in the same spot, and you're off even 1%, and you can really slide down the ladder quite a bit.
What is that day about? Is it about just simply running a personal best, or is it more about being a competitor and competing?
Yeah, it's about being a competitor. At that championship, you know, I tell our kids every year, if you run your qualifying time, or you throw your qualifying time, or jump your qualifying time, even if you're ranked 14th, 15th, you're probably going to All-American. So it's really just being able to compete on that particular day. You know, you don't have to be a superstar on that particular day. You just have to compete well.
You mentioned some have experience. Amy Delgado's been there before. Dante Brown's been there before. Does experience make a difference in that? And I think Amy had said it to me, that it can be a little bit intimidating there. Does the experience help? And it is important that those who've been there before, in effect, prepare those who haven't.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little of that, and some of it just comes down to personality. Some of the kids, no matter how many times they've been there, they are a little jittery. And there's some kids that go the first time like they've been there a million times. I mean, some of it just comes down to individual personality, but certainly being there a few times definitely helps relax you, and seeing that level of competition certainly will relax you. But some kids, you can just go out and compete right away, and it doesn't really faze them. You know, we've had kids like that in the past, and we've had kids that even as a senior get all worked up going out to the championship. So it's definitely a different environment than we see all year.
You've been preparing them all year as far as running, throwing, jumping, whatever. You've been preparing them on the mechanics. And is your role this weekend in New Mexico, is your role really about mental preparation?
Yeah, I mean, physically everything's done. I mean, things have probably already been done for a week or 2. You know, this is about just keeping them in the right frame of mind, keeping them relaxed, keeping them busy, you know, making sure our travel arrangements go as smooth as possible. And if they don't, just downplay it as much as possible, and just try to keep them as in a normal arena as you can, just like going into any other meet.
But it's not any other meet.
Yeah, no, it's not.
All right. Gary, thank you.
Thanks.